yesterday, but from the third row put himself in with a decent chance.
Yeah, he has. He doesn't look like he has the pace though to be in 7th overall. When you've looked at the combined sessions, he did get a good slipstream, a good track position, and it jumped him up the grid. But yeah, I think he can hang in there. As Neil said, I do think it will be a group race today in Moto3, and typically around here it is a proper fight, a proper scrap in this class, so I'm looking forward to a barn burner.
Yeah, and turn 13 probably going to be lit on the last lap, isn't it?
Without a doubt. Unless we get a drop of the hammer late on from the likes of Rueda, I do think it will be fought out on the last lap and then all the way down into turn 13. That's usually the decider here.
Always in Moto3, we tend to get a couple of riders that are out of position here, and it's a little easier maybe to make it up than it is in the other classes. Who falls into that category for you?
Probably Tayo Furusato. He's down there in 14th. He's a great racer, never the best qualifier in the world. He's work to do in these early laps, but I could see him in the top 3 positions at some point in the race. Looking down the grid, it's Locoman Valentin Peroni. He's in the 9th, 3rd row of the grid, but he's been up in the top 3 at times this weekend. As a rookie, we didn't expect it, but it's been so promising to see for the Tech 3 rider. And yeah, probably looking down the order, the next one is maybe Luca Lunetta. Had a great race up in Thailand until he got pretty much thwarted by David Munoz pushing him off the racetrack, so he's back on the 7th row of the grid in 21st.
I mean, when you're back on the 7th row like that, what is your strategy? What is the plan?
You hope that it's a good start and you just benefit from the draft and keep picking them off. So it's so strange in Moto3 because you can actually fight for the victory from the very back of the field. We've seen it over the years. And yeah, your strategy is just to go forward, not use your tyre, use the draft, take the opportunities when they arise, hope that someone just ruffles feathers, opens up the door for you, and you just slip through the inside.
Now here we go then, take a deep breath and sit back, because the Moto3 boys are on the way. And don't forget David Munoz going from the back as well. What can he do this weekend? But it's Matteo Bertelli in pole position. As we head over to comms, Neil Hodgson is joining Gavin Emmett. Good morning.
Good morning, Susie. Yeah, we're ready to get racing here in Argentina for the first time in a couple of years, and just like in Thailand, Matteo Bertelli starts for pole. In fact, same poles in all 3 classes. What can he do from it? We're about to find out in Termas. Welcome to Argentina, just coming up to midday local time here in Termas. 18 laps ahead of us and a wide open Moto3 race in front of us. Matteo Bertelli on pole for the 2nd race in a row, joined by Angel Piqueras and his teammate Ryusei Yamanaka. Jose Antonio Rueda, the early championship leader, he starts from row 2 alongside rookie teammate Alvaro Carpe, who followed him home, remember, back in Thailand. Homo Valentin Peroni there starts in 9th, flying the flag for Argentina, while further back, you'll find Scott Ogden down in 16th. Work to do from there after being taken out in qualifying. Kiwi, Cormac Buchanan and Ruche Moodley, there you can see alongside each other, 20th and 19th for the Kiwi and the South African. Well, David Munoz, a reminder, there he is. It's down as 21st, but he will be starting from pit lane. Remember that penalty from Thailand, but he has shown pace at times this weekend. Neil Hodgson, this is a track that tends to keep the field tight. Almost anyone could be in the mix. How do we even begin to call this one?
Yeah, well, like I said it with Susie, I'm excited. Normally it is a big group. That last sector always provides some bizarre moves, some lunges, because the racing line really leaves the door open. There are so many good overtaking opportunities on this track, even more so with the Moto3 bikes. If you look, there's a lot of fast corners, but they're actually flat out, so you can get a slipstream through some of the corner sections, and I think that's why it's always provided the best racing we've seen.
Yeah, you feel like this race isn't decided on lap 1, don't you? It is going to go on and on. Very difficult for someone to try and pull away, because, as you say, lots of opportunities to slipstream through turn 4 there onto the back straight. If you're in behind someone, it will drag you all the way down. You might see 2 slipstreams, you never know, on that kilometre-long 0.6 of a mile from start to finish.
And then you come round here, which is essentially like a big hairpin corner, but then the next section, look, that's turn 6, is absolutely flat out all the way to 7. So it's essentially like another long straight. So yeah, it normally keeps the group together.
Been impressed by Alvaro Carpe, who ride on board with the junior GP champion, Red Bull Rookies champion as well, and has looked good again this weekend. His adaptation to Moto3, impressive, and it's only round 2.
Yeah, we'd heard a lot about him, we'd seen him ourselves anyway. There's a lot of expectation. There's nothing quite like backing up in your first Grand Prix, finishing on the podium.
A quick reminder when you have to start from pit lane, and Joel Kelso as well, the Aussie, third row of the grid in 8th. Usually a good starter, and he'll need that today because he's got a double long lap penalty for his incident that he was involved in at the final corner in Thailand. So there is still a chance, isn't there, for Kelso?
I was just thinking that of all the tracks to have a double long lap penalty, this is probably the one, because normally the group sticks together. So if he can get a good start, get that first one done, you get back into the group, work your way forward again, do your second one.
David Munoz now will have to come down pit lane. There it is, the entry to pit lane, as we get ready for the start of this Moto3 Grand Prix of Argentina. He starts from pit lane. So Vettel coming up to his pole, second race in a row. Was involved in the mix, got knocked back in Thailand. It was a dramatic race there. They're not going to have the heat to contend with here today. 18 laps ahead of us, so hard to call. A lot of riders have gone with the harder rear tyre, like we heard from Scott Ogden before. And there is Munoz, he's ready to go. Right, we're on. Ready for our first race of the day here in Argentina. Lights out, we are underway. Little lead from the third row of the grid. And it's Yamanaka on the inside, down towards turn 1. The Japanese rider making the best start. Carpe also coming through, but it's going to be Angel Figueras on the inside. He's railing the inside of that corner, following his teammate. Yamanaka is going to lead them through. Excellent from the Japanese rider off the start. Carpe fights back at Figueras, and David Almanza up into third place. Through the kink of 3, onto the back straight now. And they all look to be through there fairly cleanly.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that, because it's normally quite tight into turn 2, but now this is where it's so important to get a good exit onto this long straight. Slipstream will play a part. You'll see them all fan out. They'll be onto the dirty part of the track. Look at the dust and dirt. And that's the problem, isn't it? If you do get out there, then that's what you have to contend with. You'll see people perhaps having braking issues down into the corner, but no such problem for David Almanza, who leads on the 22 for Leopard, with Alvaro Carpe in behind him now. Excellent start again. Jose Antonio Rueda, championship leader, is in 4th. Scott Ogden didn't get a good start, I don't think. Well, he's in 17th, so that's not too bad, but needs to get those elbows out early on.
Yeah, this race isn't going to be won here, but if you get yourself just gapped out of this group, you just got to stay in it, haven't you?
That's
at this
fear.
Stage.
Yeah, that's a fear, that there's an incident and all of a sudden it breaks and then you're in its two groups. We've seen that happen quite a few times over the years.
Rueda through on Yamanaka, so he's up into 3rd now to try and bridge that ever so slight gap. Now we come down into this great last section, and look at that, Almanza taking the natural line.
Yeah,
there is a line to attack there.
Furusato up the inside. I know he never needs a second invitation. One of the more aggressive riders, the young Japanese rider who qualified 14th. He's gone from 14th to
8th.
It's not bad, is it?
John Kelso's long lap penalty has come up on his board, so he can pull in any time soon. So, ooh, a little twitch from Almanza. A twitch as he applied the throttle coming out of turn 1, and he drops back to 3rd. Just like in Thailand, it's the 2 Red Bull KTM IO bikes leading the way. There is Almanza, early leader. Let's have a look at this onto the straight. Usually the Honda, through that kind of corner, will pick up a little bit more pace, but then the KTM, when you get to the end of the straight, much better on the brakes, hard braking usually. Yeah, that's what you hear from a lot of the riders. It sounds like the KTM's almost a little bit better bike to race, but if you want to do an out-and-out lap time, sometimes the flowing lines with the Honda can help. So it's Carpe from Rueda in 2nd. Almanza is 3rd. Yamanaka is 4th, with Bertele, pole sitter, in 5th. Joel Kelso is in 6th. Is he going to take one of his 2 long laps? Yes, goes early. I think that's not a bad idea.
No, I agree.
There is a gap there, you can see, between the 2 Sitch 58 riders. So if you can just tag on and hope to get back to the group, and he's dropped a long, long way down to 20th for the Australian.
So it's impressive, isn't it? Carpe, the rookie, never been here before. My only concern with let's say, that little bit of lack of experience is, at this point, the more experienced riders are just trying to be a bit kinder on their tyres. Yeah, there is a long, long way to go
race lap record here stands from Andrea Migno, 148.8. Now we've had a 147.7 already, as we'd expect. With the Pirelli tyres performing here for the first time, they've obliterated the lap record, as they did in qualifying. But is that going to come at a cost later in the race? Who's playing the long game?
Sorry, I watch Furasato a lot. He's so aggressive all the time. Number 72, like I said, he qualified 14th. He's now worked his way up to 6th.
Pass will be past them, isn't it? In Moto3 sometimes. And
it is.
You know, you want, sometimes there's other people you look at and you think, some of that, and sometimes it's too much from Furasato, no doubt about it. You know, back of your pitch, you can just see David Munoz as Riccardo Rossi comes through and up into 4th place.
Yeah, Furasato this weekend, I was watching him as well. He was sort of round about 23rd fastest. Round, you know, like, he's nowhere. He's literally a Sunday man.
There is a slight gap opening up here. Luca Lunetta and Scott Ogden have to hope there's more battling just to try and bridge it, as Joel Kelso, poor Joel Kelso, is going to the back of the field here.
I think Scott Ogden will be fine though, because he's with Lunetta, who's got some speed. If them two work together, and that's a big if, this should be fine to get onto the back of this group.
Ricky Rossi there, very close to the green paint on the inside. Joel Kelso's long lap penalties both completed, so he rejoins at the back of the field behind Cormac Buchanan and Eddie O'Shea.
Rossi was having a look there.